Just as a quick introduction to me, I'm talking about social referral today and how we use social media to refer talent and try and improve the inbound channel and the kind of methodologies and methods and style of the way we operate that will help that happen. Now, I like Sam, are a bit of a walker, but they want me to stay near the mic, so I'm restraining myself to the lectern here. So who am I? I've been recruiting for a long time. In fact, some people in this room, I think, are younger than the 23 years I've been recruiting for, by the look of it. I've been doing social recruiting for a long time, it's fair to say. I've come from agency land, traditionally. I built a social media focused recruitment agency that didn't sell. That only all you HR and recruitment people who are in-house probably think that's a joy. But we built it from social referral and visibility alone. Since that was merged with a larger company and I walked away a couple of 3 years ago, I now work inside businesses as a talent attraction strategist and help them understand how they use social and digital channels to attract talent and be a magnet to the talent they want, because I think that's a fun way of doing it. Social media, right? So before we do anything else, when we talk about social media, I want to get one thing very, very straight. Because usually when people stand on stage and talk about social recruiting and that kind of stuff, it's usually about battering recruitment into every corner of social media that we can find. Surely we can find a whole bunch of people on Snapchat if we try hard enough, etc., etc. That ever determinated recruitment person always wants to find another avenue to find a candidate. But why does social media exist? Because I'm sorry, guys, it wasn't made for recruitment. It wasn't made for us. Social media was made for a whole different reason. We just have a habit of crowbarring our way into it with our big size 15 feet. And social media is built for a place of commonality and mutual interest. That's what the whole thing was built around: sharing memories, sharing experiences, sharing mutual interests all around the globe. You see, I've got Scottish fans on there. Nothing to do, I'm not Scottish. I just couldn't find any English fans that were that excited. England football's poor these days, isn't it? So it's a place where people talk about the things that they're passionate about with each other, or with the people that they're passionate about, the interests they're passionate about, whether it's football, or whether it's our country, or whether it's politics, or whether it's technology, or whether it's embroidery, whatever it is. In fact, sometimes it's the things that the rest of us don't really get, the real geeky stuff. No, nobody really understands what they're doing. Who's Scottish here? Anybody Scottish? You're Scottish. Do you understand what that is? There may even be Facebook groups talking about tossing capers. I have no idea, but it's not my business. But there are geeky areas that people are talking about online with fellow geeks in that subject area. And we're all geeks. We're all geeks in something. We all have things that we're slightly more passionate about than other people, and we like connecting with people online, communicating about that. And that's why social media is built, because we kind of love commonality with other people. But if we're going to build a referral engine on social media, why would anybody refer your business and working for your business amongst their friends of fellow geeks? Why would they do that? Why would people, when they're talking about the inner workings of the latest finance software online, why would they instantly then go, oh, you must go and work for Alpha Beta or whatever company it is? That it just sort of doesn't naturally work that way. So we have to do a bit of work. And there's 3 R's. I used to always talk about these 3 R's that are important in setting up a social media presence that drives natural referral. The agency I used to run, 90% of our candidates came from inbound referral, recommendation, visibility. And I think if we all had organisations that could do 90% inbound talent flow of people who actually gave 2 hoots about what it is we do because they actually think we're pretty cool, then that would be kind of nice. And those 3 things are reputation. Are we putting good messages out there? What do people think about our organisation already? I bet not a lot of organisations do social listening as part of their recruitment strategy. I've recruited in industry for the last 10 years where social listening is one of the most important things they do for brands. But do we do it for recruitment? Do we kind of do we have things in place that help us understand what people actually think of our business before we start sending out messages? Recommendation, do people know enough about our business to recommend us? Why would people in that, and then common networks and their networks of commonality and mutual interest, why would they bother sharing? Is there enough out there? Are we giving them enough impetus to recommend people to you? And referral, do we have a trust network? Referral comes from trust. We only tend to refer and recommend things that we believe in and we trust. The ones that we don't, that we're not visible, that we're not aware of, and we don't trust, we don't recommend them. It's simple as that. So do we have trust networks in place to allow a natural referral system to work? So I'm going to cover 10 steps in 6 minutes, which is remarkable. This will be good. How to build a living, breathing referral engine, one that constantly works on your behalf because you're pumping enough stuff into the system. One or two of these will be controversial, probably this one. Stop selling, stop sourcing. Don't stop it. I don't mean completely, of course. But I think we're so obsessed with sourcing and finding names and numbers and avenues where we can find the candidate that we felt like we could never reach before. And then what do we do when we find them? We blast an email to them, or we drop them a Facebook message. So, and what first impression does that genuinely give? And is it an impression that, are we stacking the odds in favour of us getting a good referral as a consequence of that, or are we stacking the odds in favour of a bad referral? My feeling is that we do too much of this direct selling through sourcing. We're not thinking about how we use social media the way it was intended. Don't overwork your recruiters. I was doing a training workshop to a big pharmaceutical company in Germany a month or so back, and I was doing all this stuff on social recruiting and content and how they could build their profile on LinkedIn and social channels and others, and how they could draw natural business, and they all were very enthusiastic. But one person kind of said, "This is great, but it's like a dream sequence." I'm like, "Why is this a dream sequence?" She said, "Because I've got 35 jobs to fill. How else am I going to find time to build a network if I've got 35 jobs to fill?" My heart sank for this poor woman, because the whole point of what I was talking about is you build a network so you can fill 35 jobs more easily than the way she was doing it at the moment, which is some of the methods that I'm going to talk about. We probably shouldn't. So 35 recs a recruiter? I mean, I think Hung's just done in the middle of doing a study at the moment on this very, very thing about how do we overwork our recruiters. There's nothing bravado about having 30 requisitions. As a recruitment agency land, we used to say 15 was top max, but 10 was ideal. Make sure you fill those 10 roles. That was the... So don't overwork your recruiters. Stop advertising so damn often. What do we do when we instantly advertise? I know a company that has a 48-hour KPI to its recruiters to put jobs on all the job boards and LinkedIn inside 48 hours. I mean, that breaks my soul in recruitment, that does. Because all they do is then they open 10 new channels where a whole bunch of people apply, where you can only give one person a job. How does that create a positive experience, even if we are automating our no, thank you, but no's? How does that create an experience that makes people go, I really must refer this company to my friends because they're awesome? We just keep pumping. I see it on LinkedIn all the time. Great companies who are just pumping every new job out and out and out and just creating a funnel of rejection. And a funnel of rejection doesn't leave a very positive impression on the marketplace. So they're probably not going to refer so much. Don't kill your talent communities just yet. Much maligned phrase, but done well, this is how we should be doing recruitment. Finding the common areas of common interest and common expertise and being a part of them. The reason talent communities don't work, by the way, is because they're called talent communities. Rather than, because all we do is talk about jobs and careers inside those talent communities that were broken from years ago. Talk about the things that they're interested in. Geek out with fellow geeks. Talk about the things, communicate on social media about the things that they want to talk about, in the environment they want to talk about, that's relevant to the kind of work you would like to draw them into your business for. Don't just go in there and talk about jobs. I mean, it's like walking to a bar and just selling things to everybody. Nobody likes it very much. So be respectful of the reason why social media exists, and geek out with geeks. Pipeline, nurture, stay relevant. Once we've built that network, once we've identified the fellow geeks and the people who are the kind of people we'd want in our organisation because they have the same passions and they have the same skills and they have the same interests, not a commonality, mutual interest, etc., then feed these people. Be at the centre of their development. Be at the centre of what is hot and what is new. Because referral, again, comes from trust. It comes from places, it comes from a heart that says, I trust this company, I trust these people. If all we do is pump jobs into a talent network, then all we'll be known for is jobs. Whereas referral is not usually just from jobs. It's usually from people who believe in other people and believe in what we're about. So pipeline, nurture, develop, understand where these people are through the pipeline and stay relevant to these people throughout. Find, communicate, and amplify your voice. This is a thing I learned quite a lot from working inside a content marketing agency a couple of years ago, doing their kind of talent attraction strategy. And having your voice, having an opinion about something, when you're in those networks and you're identifying those people and you're starting to live inside those communities, you can still be pretty tepid, non-visible, fairly vacant, if you don't have a voice. Something that says, this is what we stand for in this new bit of technology. There's a new legislation that's come out that's affecting our industry. This is what we believe, and this is how we're going to handle it. Because the only way we attract people to be inspired emotionally to connect with them and either vote with their own feet or refer to other people is if we find people who believe the same things that we believe, who have the same kind of purpose and ideas as we kind of do. So make sure your talent message and the message to those people is to have a voice, because then people start voting with their feet as to whether they're with you or whether they're not. Tell bloody great stories that matter. We're a remarkable industry who do remarkable things every day. We employ remarkable people. As organisations, we tend to do pretty remarkable things. But are we telling stories that engage people emotionally to make people think about us more often? There's an old PR phrase that's called being top of mind. And share of mind, I think is the phrase I was looking for. And what we're trying to strive for in how we use social media effectively is we're trying to improve our share of mind within our talent marketplace. And so an old PR phrase, it might be a bit of an old 1970s phrase, but actually it's a really, really relevant phrase, because we want to be, in our talent markets that we're striving to get the best people from and battling with our competitors for, are we top of mind? Are we the first choice? Are we the first people they think of? So tell great stories. I'm conscious of time. People might not agree with me with this one, but that's fine. You don't have to agree with me about anything. Don't incentivize referral. Do you know what? Referral is one of the most natural human actions. If you incentivize it, it takes away some of the authenticity of referral. I sat in a room a few years ago where somebody said 80% of all referrals don't need any, they've done a study, and people don't need financial reward for referrals. Yeah, all we did in this discussion was then talk about how to financially reward people in our organisations. And don't incentivise referral. In 9 years of running Cloud9, we had one person who asked for a referral fee. I said, we don't do one, sorry. She said, well, I'll just refer them anyway because I'm a friend. So that's how it works. So incentivization confuses the whole process and makes it a difficult funnel. But the most important thing of all of this, why would anybody recommend and refer their friends or their colleagues and their professionals to your organisation? It's because the mantra of Cloud9, the organisation that I ran, was make every interaction count. Think about your recruitment process, your ad marketing process, your communication process, and your application process. Does it sing of a company that people would recommend? Make every little bit, every email, every social media thing, the first desk, the first day that they come into the organisation, think about how people would respond to everything that you do. So make every interaction count. It's a good mantra to start for the way that we operate an organisation, recruitment-wise. Magnetism is better than mining. We do a lot of mining these days in recruitment, but magnetism is way more fun. And that's me. Rocking Purple Velour in 1974.